do quite often within your schedules. So as you can see here, I have basically launched project, but there is not a file open. And so I want to get started with a brand new project. So very much like your other Office applications, you will go up to File, and we have the New option here. So I'll click on New. And when you come into Project, one of the very first things that you'll see, and this is considering that you are connected to the internet, is you can simply search for a particular template. So if you want to get started with some type of structure, some type of foundation, and then you can of course edit the schedule from that point forward, this is a great way to basically find some templates that might be of interest to you. And even in this main screen here, you notice that there's a lot of different options available to you. Business plans, there's some construction projects, software development. And so if I just simply do a search here, so I'm going to type in software and do a search for that. It's not only going to look for software related files to project, but it could also find other files outside of even the project layer, if you will. So it will look for additional file types that have the word software in it. So you notice that when I scroll down that I can see some Visio and PowerPoint and Excel options available to me as well. Okay? And I can simply click on that template and get started that way. And we'll work with templates a little bit more later on. Right now we just want to basically take a look at this area. Now the other thing to bear in mind is that there are some suggested searches here at the top, right? Project plan, projects, themes, schedules, etc. What you might also see in an enterprise setting is an additional tab at the top for getting to those enterprise templates. Here, because we're not connected to that, we don't see that. And I'll get started with just simply a blank project. Now that we have a new project, let's start entering in a couple tasks. And we're going to progress through this course as we enter in tasks and learn about things like the duration and the task mode and other attributes of working with Microsoft Project, particularly as it relates to tasks. So just to get started, I'm going to click on this first task name here, and I'm going to just basically type in a couple tasks. Determine project scope, secure project sponsorship, and hit the enter key. Now one of the things that you're noticing as soon as I just simply start typing is that this looks and feels a lot like if you were working in Microsoft Excel or any other sheet presentation where you're clicking in a cell, typing something in, either tabbing to get out of it, hitting the enter key to move you down to the next row. Same thing here. Now in the next module we're going to get more into moving tasks around and really navigating around with deleting and renaming and doing a lot of creative things around tasks. But here one of the takeaways that we want to have is just how do I insert an additional task here. So for example, if I click on determine project scope, how do I get a task above this one, right? I just want to insert a task. I forgot to put something in there, to put an activity in there. So let me go ahead and just insert a new row. And of course this is a Microsoft application, so there's numerous ways of doing the same thing. And one way I think you'll find that's quite easy is just simply hitting the insert key on your keyboard. Now what you'll also find is from the task tab is that there is an insert and a task. So you can do it that way as well, but I think you'll find that just simply hitting the insert is a good, quick, easy way of getting a task in there. So then I'll type in scope, hit the enter key, and I've got that in there. Now on top of just the ability to insert a task like the way we just did, right, we're placing it above the entry area that we were in, is quite often we're going to want to insert a recurring task, something that's going to happen over and over again during the course of the project. Well, I think we can think of something, right? Meetings, right? Meetings or status reporting is going to happen with the level of frequency during the course of the project. So in order to get a recurring task in there, again, back in the task tab, just get into an empty cell here. You can even have a particular task selected when you insert this recurring task, and it will insert it above this task. So it isn't critical where we are right now, but just know that when you're inserting these tasks, that where you are is going to be of significance. So right now I have the first entry cell selected, and I'm going to go up to task, and I'm going to go down to recurring task, and this is going to bring out a dialog box, and I can put meeting, right, or meetings, project status meetings, whatever you like to have here. And then I'm going to tab it over, and one of the things that you're noticing is that there is a duration, right? There's a duration cell here that allows me to set the duration of the meeting, and the default is 1 day. Right? I'm going to reduce that to 1 hour. This is a 1 hour meeting. We'll talk more about duration and effort and work as we progress through the course. So right now, just go ahead and drop 1H in there, and then I'm going to set, right, the date, the day in which it's going to occur. In this case, it's Friday. I'll have the project. This is going to start on the 15th, and I'm going to have this end by, at least for now, let's say just the end of the month. Right, now you can always go in here and change these settings. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click OK there, and it basically drops that meeting into the schedule. Like as I mentioned, you can go back in and set new parameters within the recurring task by just double clicking on the task, and the dialog box comes up, and I can go in and I can make some adjustments here. What we'll also learn as we progress through this is how to manipulate these tasks, even particularly as they are on the timeline. The biggest takeaway from this particular section is just simply inserting tasks, right? Typing in some task names, being able to bring in a new task in a different part of the schedule, and then of course working with this recurring task that we just did.